Welcome back to the TSM YouTube channel. I'm your host, the Supreme Monstrosity, or just simply TSM. Now, this video is going to be different from what I normally do, and it's not an animation or a reaction video or even a devlog. This is going over my submission for Valis Dreadmir's Hybrid Tournament. Now, for Valis Dreadmir's Hybrid Tournament, this is going to be special because there are no Mesozoic animals allowed or anything from before. We can only use animals from the Cenozoic and onward. Also, there's a lot more criteria to this, unlike Goji Centers and Zane Reborns. So I'm going to showcase my hybrid in here and see if it's good enough to enter the tournament itself. Without further ado, let's get into it. First up is the base genome, and it is the steppe mammoth. The steppe mammoth is the largest mammoth to exist at 15 tons in weight, and it already provides our hybrid with some pretty good weaponry. Those tusks and forelimbs will be our most formidable weapons. The trunk might not be viable because we probably wouldn't be able to even use that. Doesn't do too much, honestly. But the tusks are going to be huge weapons, and the forelimbs are going to allow for a literal crushing victory if our hybrid can manage to make one. But a mammoth is just not enough. For fighting in different environments and for venting out excess heat, we used the musk ox for its heat regulation. The musk ox, if you didn't know, has a secondary layer of fur underneath its first to vent out excess heat and prevent insulation. This will let our hybrid fight in different environments than just the Arctic, probably even going up to the tundra, where it's a bit maybe warmer there. I don't exactly know for sure. But this is what I have so far. This is all just for heat regulation. Moving on to the combat versatility. And plus, tusks are just not enough. We need something more. So, for better combat, we decided to use both the Lestodon and the Western Gorilla for their appearances, and also for their forelimbs. Lestodon comes in with some very powerful claws. These can be used for shredding either the leaves off trees, or they can be using to shred animal hides, which is exactly what our hybrid will be doing. The gorilla also has its unique shoulder anatomy to let our hybrid swing beyond its normal radius, so it can punch any animal it ever makes contact with. Also provides knuckle walking, which allows my hybrid to look a little bit more like Behemoth from the Monsterverse, and also to get around easier without ruining those claws. Next up for the armor, we incorporate also, fun fact, the gorilla actually provides more to the brain because it's an ape and apes are pretty smart. And gorillas can use their tactics to leverage just enough. For the armor, we decided to incorporate the hippo, the porcupine, and the wombat. The hippo provides a thicker hide of skin, which combined with the elephant skin can allow for even more skin protection, and plus probably a lesser chance of any teeth getting through, even with all that fur. The Cape Porcupine allows his hybrid to be defended from almost all angles. From the back, the side flanks, the thighs, and maybe even the rear. However, the rear will also be very protected because of the wombat's rump armor. Yes, if you didn't know that about wombats, they have a bony plating underneath their skin directly on their butts. And they use that against other animals. It might sound funny, but my creature can now fight by throwing it back, which is hilarious. For the head reinforcement, we decided to use the American bison for this because of their strong neck, extra bulk, and even their hump. And also those large horns. Those horns will be able for impaling any creatures that try to get on my hybrid's back and pretty much kind of grab at his neck, which can close up and stab with the horns. That's for anyone that tries to get on top of this guy, which if you tried, you probably fail. And even if that happens, the quills might do some more damage. Now for the hybrid's wild card. We decided to use the Komodo dragon. Now the reason why is because in case this hybrid ever goes up against a toxic opponent or a venomous opponent, it is capable of shrugging off the poison almost instantly. I know our hybrid will probably have enough size, but this is just in case anyone decides to incorporate inland type in for any reason. And also, this gives us iron reinforcement on the tusks for a more penetrating blow. Even sharper now. The tusks are now like swinging swords and are effectively almost made of metal, but still enamel. Now, for one last adjustment, we'll be using the African bush elephant to shrink down the size of our hybrid, because our animal this size might have to end up with overheating due to all the muscles. So we decided to use the African bush elephant to actually shrink the overall size down to about 10 or 11 tons. This goes down to 12 short tons. And voila, Maximus, the Giga Mammoth. This guy is 18 feet in height. He is 32 feet from head to tail, and he weighs 12 short tons. Created by the Supreme Monstrosity. Now, this guy is actually more of a defensive titan and a reactive one. He is not proactive and fights by letting his opponents come to him, and will stand his ground against those smaller opponents. On the battlefield, or rather off the battlefield, he's a rather gentle giant and is more peaceful, unless you mess with him, which you probably shouldn't. Next, behold all of Maximus's genetic contributors. This is Maximus himself, or the Giga Mammoth. And here's all of his contributors and their strengths and what they provide to him down below. This was a rather fun thing to make. It was a personal project. However, after seeing that Valis wanted it, also, by the way, these are horns. These are quills and claws, and the iron reinforced tusks. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Had a pretty good time making it. And also, I really hope to get Valis Dreadmere in here. TSM out.